I will just take exactly 2 minutes and then we will have Swamiji start. Few rules, house rules. Swamiji will speak for about 1.5 hours, I think, today. It's up to him. Whatever you want. He'll know. He will tell us. And then we'll have a brief question-answer session. If anyone has questions, please come to the side of the aisle and address your question. And please, please keep it very short and crisp so we can have more people to ask questions, one question per person. Now, on behalf of the temple, I'm making this humble request to all of you to open up your heart and your purse to make generous donations to HTGC, Vivekananda Spiritual Center, to bring more such programs and events. Part of your donations, of course, will be the Sambhavana to Swamiji as Guru Dakshina, and please donate generously. And if you're paying by check, please pay to HTGC. So that is over. The second part, in keeping with the essence of Advaita Vedanta, I just want to start today's program with a very small chant. Om Mano Buddhya Hankara Chitta Ninaham Nacha Shrotra Jikhve Nacha Grana Netre Nacha Vyoma Bhumir Tejo Navayuhu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Aham Nirvikalpo Nirakara Rupo Vibhutvacha Sarvatra Sarvendriyanam Nacha Sangatam Naiva Muktirna Meyah Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham 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 Shivoham. So Swamiji will speak today. The topic is Karma Yoga, and I invite Swamiji to address us. Thank you. And one second. I apologize. You should have gone before me, but sorry.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashanvannote Bhisedha Sadhanam Om Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Bhadran Karnebhi Shrunayama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhir Yajatraha Sthirairangai Estushtvagam Sastanobhihi Veshemadevahitam Yadayuhu Swasti Nayendro Vridhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti Rastarksho Aristanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadatu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shivaya.
Thank you.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
Swamiji, you can start the program. Thank you.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaskar, everybody. Namaskars to the temple authorities, to those who have organized this event. My gratitude to them, and to all of you, dear friends, for turning out in such large numbers. As Nitya said, or as she did not say, I'm not going to speak for 1.5 hours. I'm not going to strain your patience. There is when we learned communications many, many years ago, our communications professor gave us the sutra, the rule for communication. One is, your speech should be exhausted before the patience of the audience is exhausted. Second rule, he said, the sutra for successful talk: stand up, speak up, shut up. So I will follow that. Instead of 1.5 hours, I'll speak for about half that time, not more than that, and then we'll have interaction, because there are a lot of questions yesterday which we could not interact yesterday. And again, there will be questions today. Let me start off by making a funny observation. There's one Swami, he's known as the Laughing Swami. Some of you may have met him, Swami Anubhavananda Saraswati ji, a very humorous Swami. So in one program, I was with him online. I've met him a couple of times in Los Angeles, here in New York. And one online program, so he started by saying, in Bhagavad Gita, whatever Krishna taught Arjuna is useless. Whatever he taught him is completely impractical and useless. See, meditation. You sit like this, meditate, you breathe like this, calm the mind, close the eyes, concentrate inwards. By this time, Karna and Duryodhana, they will shoot him with arrows if he starts doing that in the chariot, in the battlefield. Advaita Vedanta, we're talking about Aham Brahmasmi. What Aham Brahmasmi he will do? They will sit there and listen to Upanishads, Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. Impossible. He is the general of an army. He is in mortal danger, in terrible crisis. So, only one thing he taught was useful, and that is Karma Yoga. That is actually how to transform activity into spiritual practice, how to transform our daily life into spiritual practice. I mean, he's joking, of course. All of those things are helpful. Meditation is helpful. Vedantic study and philosophy are helpful. Devotion, bhakti is helpful. But the unique power of Karma Yoga, that's what makes spirituality practical. Notice, Vedanta was not taught first in, Bhagavad Gita. It was not taught in an ashram. It was not taught in the Hindu temple in Chicago. It was taught in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is very symbolic, that in the midst of action, in the midst of our busy life, in the midst of so much pressures of daily life, family life, professional life, personal life, in the midst of that, spirituality is possible, and not only possible, useful, helpful. That is the message. That's the beauty of the Vedanta, the way it was taught in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna had entered that war in order to defeat the villains, the Kauravas, and to gain the kingdom which was rightfully his, belonged to his elder brother. And in between he lost all interest in that because he saw, why for a kingdom, why should I kill my relatives? I don't want to fight this battle. Then Krishna taught him about Vedanta. You are the Atman. Atman is not born, it does not die. If you realize that you are the Atman, then you will realize the goal of human life. And Arjuna was more enthusiastic. Yes, I want to do that. I don't want to fight this battle. But Krishna said, if you want to realize this Atman, if you want to be spiritual, if you want to be enlightened, you have to fight this battle also. But whole attitude will be different. The way you came into this battle, before the teaching of the Gita, and after the teaching of the Gita, you will still do this, your duty, but your whole attitude will be different. The whole technology, the science of spiritualizing our life, Karma Yoga, was taught by Krishna to Arjuna. So that is our subject this morning. This is what makes spirituality, Vedanta, practical in life. So you'll have to silence mobiles. One Swamiji, he is the present Shankaracharya in Puri. So I have not met him directly, but I have watched his talks sometimes. Whenever a mobile rings, he says, "Ye karna pishach ko shant kijiye." It's a demon of the ears, karna pishach. Let us first take a general look at life itself before diving into spiritualizing life. There is a text, Vichar Sagar, in which human beings are categorized into 4 categories. Very interesting classification. The most ordinary, the worst in the whole list is what is called Palmara, instinctive, animalistic life. I want pleasure. I want fun. And for that I need money and resources. That's all I want. See, in the traditional scheme of values in Hinduism, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So kama means pleasure. All kinds of pleasure, sense pleasures. Whatever is fun for me, whatever is pleasant for me, I want that. Now that's all right. Sometimes as children, it's all right. Maybe even for some teenagers. But once you grow up, once you're an adult, you're expected to look beyond that. This is called a Palmara mindset. Palmara, literally the word Palmara in Sanskrit means uncultured, instinctive, a very basic kind of mindset, almost animalistic. I want this, I want to grab it and enjoy it right now. Not even wait. So this kind of people, they pursue artha and kama. Notice the way it is said. In India we always say dharmartha kama moksha. First dharma. First morality, ethics, a decent life. And then pursuit of wealth and pleasure in life. And ultimately the pursuit of spirituality, enlightenment, moksha, God realization, whatever. But these people, they start with kama and artha. Extreme example might be an alcoholic or drug addict who's just living for the next drink or dose of drugs just for pleasure somehow. And that's a terrible life. I mean, they'll be the first ones to admit it, that we are caught. You know what it is like? They start it for pleasure. But very soon what happens is the pleasure has caught them. There is a story which Sri Ramakrishna was fond of. Kambal humko nahi chhodta hai. That is the name of the story. What is the story? There was a river in spate, a flood. And a lot of things were being swept along in the river. On the bank of the river, villagers were standing and watching all these valuable things being swept away. One man saw an expensive blanket being swept away, kambal. So he jumped in the river and swam mightily against the flow of the river and went and caught it. When he went there, he saw it was not a blanket. It was a bear which had been washed away by the river, bhalu. And naturally, the bear, what do? Bear hug. It caught hold of that man. Now they are both being swept away. From the bank, people could not make out what happened. From the shore, and they shouted, "Kambal ko chhod dijiye, aap doob jayenge. Let go of that kambal. You will drown." And that man shouted that kambal to main chhod diya, kambal humko nahi chhodta hai. I have discarded the blanket. I've given it up, but the blanket is not giving me up. That's the nature of addiction. So we get addicted to something. People get addicted, and then They find it's not fun anymore, but that addiction will not leave them anymore. That's the nature of addiction. Kama and artha, a pursuit of money just for the sake of becoming richer and no end in sight. Better than them, a higher level is what is called dharmika vishayi. Vishayi means a worldly person who wants things, but dharmika, on the basis of dharma. What do these people want? They want dharma artha kama. Most people in society belong to this category, which is good. Most people think that yes, I want pleasure in life. I want to be rich. I want to be successful. And I want it all for my family also, my relatives also. But on the basis of dharma, I want to be a good person. I want to be a moral person. I want to be a decent person. Most of us, we think of ourselves as good people, or at least trying to be good people. So within the limits of dharma, I shall pursue artha and kama. Still worldly, nothing particularly spiritual about it. But such people are interested in morality and also religion. Higher than them, more evolved spiritually, is a more mature mindset who realizes that ultimately no permanent happiness, satisfaction is to be had in this samsara. And here is spiritual life, in any tradition, promising that there is something higher. And that is called moksha, God realization, liberation, enlightenment, nirvana. So they want that. And such people are called sadhaka. Spiritual seekers, spiritual practitioners. Sadhak actually not just seeker. Sadhak literally means somebody who's doing sadhana, who's actually practicing. Sadhaka. What do they want? They want moksha, not dharma artha kama. Now they don't want dharma, they are dharmika, but with no particular worldly desire. See, dharma can be sakama and nishkama. Sakama means with worldly desires. Artha and kama, I want pleasure, I want wealth, I want success, and therefore I am moral and religious. Good. But better than this is I am moral, I am religious, not because I want pleasure and success in the world. I want spiritual realization. And then higher than this, sadhaka, higher than this is siddha. Siddha is the enlightened one. Gyani, Brahma Gyani, Jivan Mukta. In Krishna's language, Sthita Prajna, Gunatita, all many words are there. What do they want? Nothing. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, not even that, not even moksha. Shankaracharya sings, that Chidananda Rupa Shivoham we just heard. What does he sing? Na dharmo, na chartho, na kamo, na moksha. I don't want artha, money, I don't want pleasure, kama. I don't want your conventional religion and ethics and all. That also I am not interested in. What about God realization, Brahma Gyana? That also I am not interested in. Why? Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. So a certain state will come in all our lives when we are sadhakas, we will become siddha, enlightened, perfected. And then we go beyond this scale of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Krishna himself has said this in the Gita. Chaturvidha bhajante mam. There are 4 kinds of devotees. Artha, artharthi, jigyasu, jnanicha. So the artha is the one in distress, in trouble. A financial problem is there, health problem is there, COVID problem is there, some beloved person is in the hospital. So I am taking refuge in Bhagavan. Please help me. That is one kind of devotee, and good. Krishna does not criticize. He says that's devotee number 1. Number 2 is no problem as such, but wants more. More success, more wealth, or at least in general, what a lot of people you'll see who come to the temple, what do they basically want? Not that they have any particular agenda, wish list, shopping list. No. Let all go well. Let all be well. Mangalamastu. For family, for community, for world. Let the blessings of God be upon me and my family and community and all that. That's also good. That is artharthi. They want something. Something more in life. And then, beyond these two is jigyasu, who does not want anything, nor in any particular trouble, but wants to know, does God exist? Can I see God? This is like Narendranath. He goes to Sri Ramakrishna. He does not ask, that I'm in some trouble or I want something in life. No. He says, I want to know, have you seen God? Can you see God? Once he was in trouble. He actually went to Sri Ramakrishna and he asked, his father had died and his mother was a widow and his brothers and sisters were in trouble. He didn't have money to help them. In desperation, finally he went to Sri Ramakrishna. You tell Ma Kali, because this world is, the Divine Mother is in charge of the world, whatever you do. Your Brahman will not help. I'm sorry to say, Advaita Vedanta will not change things in the world. If you want change things in the world, you have to go to the Mother. Now, Sri Ramakrishna said, you go and ask. You want a job, money and all that, go and ask. And Narendranath, he said to Sri Ramakrishna, no, she listens to you. You ask her, you tell her. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, no, today is a good day. Tuesday, I think it was, or Saturday, something. You go and ask. So Narendranath goes and he comes back in a divine mood and Sri Ramakrishna says, what happened? Did you see? He says, I saw the living presence of Kali, Bhavatarini Kali in the temple. So did you ask for? She said, yes, I asked for devotion, for vairagya, for viveka. And Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, all that is good, but did you ask for money? He said, no, I forgot. Oh, what a fool. Go again and ask. There is still time. Again he went, same thing, he came back. I asked for devotion and viveka, vairagya, bhakti, gyana. Again Sri Ramakrishna scolded him, sent him third time. Third time also came back and Narendranath said, I have understood. This is your play. I cannot ask for such things. He's jigyasu. Even under pressure, under trouble also, he doesn't want to ask for worldly things to God. He wants God realization. He wants God. See, what is the difference between a worldly devotee and a spiritual practitioner? A sadhaka and a vishayi. Vishayi person also comes to temple. And a sadhaka also comes to temple. But what is the difference? The difference is the vishayi person uses God for life. My life will be improved if God is in my life. My life is better if I have washing machine, if I have dishwasher, if I have car, if I have Wi-Fi, and God. One more thing is necessary. God will make my life better. And he's not wrong. Krishna himself is a support. You want rescue in times of trouble, God will help. You want better life, God will help. But God for my life. But sadhaka says my life for God. I am going to use my life to find God. That is the sadhaka. That is Narendranath, Vivekananda. And then higher than that is siddha, one who becomes enlightened. So these four categories are there. Notice, religion, spirituality is meant for the middle two categories. For those who are jigyas, who are artharthi or artha, who are in trouble or who want something in the world. They want something from God. They have belief in God. Below that, large number of people are there. Palmara. They also want many things. They're full of desires. But that faith in God is not there. So they will never come to the temple. Spirituality, no interest. But even worldly things, when you come to God, you will get what you want. That faith also is not there. So they are not devotees. Krishna excludes them from the list. Who is Krishna? Gita, Upanishad, Vedanta, temple. Who is it meant for? Two categories. The dharmika person, maybe vishayi, maybe worldly, but dharmika. And sadhaka. Higher than that siddha, they also don't need it. Out of sheer devotion, Krishna says, the siddha also is my bhakta. Jnani cha. Four kinds of devotees. Artha, artharthi, jigyasu, jnani. Jnani means the enlightened person. Enlightened person is also a devotee of God. Out of sheer devotion. Does not want anything. Now, of course, just by the way, what about the ones who have no interest? We know so many people who may have no interest in temple, in Vedanta, in, whether it is for worldly reasons or for spiritual reasons, no interest at all. What will happen to them? For them, it's a long, scenic route. What is the scenic route? It is the law of karma. We will come to that. As they do, good or bad, they will get those results in life. And through suffering alone, one will learn it isn't working. The way I'm leading my life is not working. It's not sustainable. A higher form of life isn't. So by experienced, maybe in this lifetime, maybe in more than one lifetime, some interest will come. Then they will come to the level of the dharmika vishayi, then sadhaka, then siddha. Long journey, scenic route. Now let us focus on the sadhaka, spiritual seeker. Because those who are here, basically I think almost all of us here are sadhakas. We are spiritual seekers. Sadhaka means sadhana. Sadhan is a word, is what you use to get something. What you want is called sadhya. You want to come to the temple? Sadhya. What will be the sadhan? The method, what you use? Car. So you use something, then you come to the goal. The practice is called sadhan or sadhana. And the one who practices is called sadhaka. What is sadhana? Let's focus a little bit on that, then we will understand karma yoga. Yesterday we saw Advaita Vedanta tells you, Tattvam Asi, you are that reality. And the realization is Aham Brahmasmi. But problem is we hear all that, then we scratch our head. Swamiji, it's good. I'm hearing for many, many years. Some are very senior people here. I've been hearing before you were born, Swamiji. But nothing. What is the problem then? The problem is called Agyana Ignorance. That I am not able to make this a living reality. I hear, I try to understand, but it's not a living reality for me. I can't say that I really honestly feel Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham. I don't feel that. Now this Agyana is removed by Gyana. Ignorance is removed by knowledge. What is the method? The method is Gyana Yoga. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Consistently, systematically hearing these things again, studying the texts, listening to the teachers. This is Shravana. At the end of Shravana, you get the feeling, I have learned the philosophy, the teachings. But then you have to think about it. Until you can say honestly, I understand it. I not only know Vedanta Sara, Vivek Chudamani, Upanishad, Gita, but I also understand it now. I get it. What more remains? One more, Nididhyasana. Which is, I get it, but it's still not a living reality. I have not yet assimilated it. My life is still flowing in the old patterns. To change those patterns, then what I have studied, what I have understood, you stay with that through a variety of meditation techniques. Wonderful techniques are there, Nididhyasana. And the realization will come, Aham Brahmasmi. At this point you will say, I know all this. Not happening. Then Vedanta says there is a deeper problem. What is the deeper problem? Chitta Vikshep. First problem, Agyana, ignorance. Deeper problem, Chitta Vikshepa, flickering mind. Flickering mind, you are unable to assimilate the teachings. We are listening day after day, month after month, year after year. One Swami Ranganathanandaji of revered memory, who was the 13th president of our order, he was the head of the Ramakrishna mission in New Delhi. And his talks used to be packed with people. One day he made the mistake of asking this lady who used to come and sit in the front row all the time. Very simple Punjabi lady. She was leaving the hall and Swamiji asked, so did you like it? Bahut badhiya Swamiji, very good. What did you like? Wrong question. What did you like? And the lady immediately said, very simple. She said, Arey hum kya samjhe? Badi Vedant ki baat hai Swamiji. What do I understand? Big philosophy. Many years I'm listening, not going in. Once, there's a description of Vedantic talk going on. Sri Ramakrishna is sitting and listening carefully. He did not comment. At the end of the Vedantic discussion, he says, in Bengali he said, that these words are good, but dharana is necessary, assimilation is necessary. In Bengali he said, Kothagulo to bhalo, dharana hawa chai. That dharana means assimilation. This must become a living reality for me. Why is it not happening? Flickering mind. Mind is unable to absorb. It goes here and goes out there. What is the solution for this vikshepa, flickering mind? Is ekagrata, focus. And for that, all meditative techniques, upasana, yogic meditation, dhyana, all is prescribed for focusing the mind. Swamiji, I know that also. 40 years I'm meditating. Either I feel restless or sleepy. It used to happen to us when we were novices. We were beginning our training, so it was very strict. You have to go evening arati, after arati, you sit for in meditation hall. There will be a big clock there. At least 1 hour you have to sit. If one more less than that, so sometimes you'd see brahmacharis meditating and waiting for it. So as if it's not a pleasant task, then it's a difficult task. Or the opposite. Well, this is restlessness. The opposite is sleepy. Sit down, close your eyes, fall in asleep. We used to joke. Sleeping like this, we used to say, Pranamami muhurmuhu, saluting again and again with closed eyes. Sleepiness, that is tamas. Restlessness, that is rajas. Meditation requires sattva, a pure mind and serene mind. Not lazy and sleepy mind, not restless and overactive mind. A calm mind and serene and alert mind. Why not happening? Third level, deeper level, and I promise this is the last level of the problem. Deeper level of the problem is called chitta mala. Chitta mala, impurity of the mind. Whole lifetime and lifetime after lifetime, we have poured dirt into this mind. And it has conditioned the mind so much that it can't take anything higher. It's like dumpster is there. Will you ever think of going into the dumpster and taking food out, discarded food and putting in your mouth? You will not. You feel sick. That very idea is sickening. And if you do that, stomach will be upset. But we are reaching into the dumpster of the world and continuously putting things in the mind. No filter. Whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, read, listen, all sorts of images, sounds, ideas from the world outside, dumping continuously in the mind. Somebody said, no, bad things are there in the world. If you avoid, you're escapist, Swami. Only good things you will see and bad things you will avoid. Escapist. No, your question is not about escapism. It's like Sri Ramakrishna gave the example of, mithai shop, sweet shop. So there are flies which will sit on the sweets and go outside in the drain. In India, open drains, luckily less are there now, open drains, and they'll sit in the rubbish, in the dirt, in the drain, and then they will sit on the sweets also. Our mind becomes like that, going to nice things also and going to dirty things also. That will not work. He gives the example of honeybee, which will go and sit only on the flowers, selectively. Honeybee is escapist? No, is wise. So mind is an instrument. You need the mind to accomplish something. Why will you dip it in dirt one moment and dip it in Amrita next moment? Because dirt is there, I should not be escapist. I should jump in the dirt sometimes. So, impurity of mind is there that prevents us from meditation. Mind becomes flickering. So, purification of mind is required. Chitta Shuddhi. And what is the sadhana for that? The sadhana for that is karma yoga. This is the basic level sadhana. This is the foundation. Now look at I have drawn for you, if you listen carefully, 3x3 matrix. The problem, solution, and method of solution. Problem is the Agyana, ignorance. I don't realize I am Brahman. Solution, Gyana, knowledge. Method, Gyana Yoga, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Vedantic study and thinking about it, meditation. Then, that is not working. Deeper level problem, flickering mind. Problem, Vikshepa, Chitta Vikshepa, flickering mind. Solution, focused mind, Chitta Ekagrata. Method, meditation. That is Upasana. Mantra will be given, Ishta Devata will be given, how to meditate will be told to us. Focus, Ekagrata. Method is meditation. That also is not happening. Mind is restless or sleepy. Why? What is the problem? Third level of problem. Problem, Chitta Mala, impurity of mind. Solution, Chitta Shuddhi, purification of mind. Method, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. So 3x3. With Karma Yoga, the solution will be that you will get purified mind. With purified mind, sit down to meditate, mind will become focused immediately, guaranteed. Uttarakhand, one sadhu said nicely, he said, महात्मा जी समाधि तो आसान है, हमको 2 मिनट में आपकी समाधि लगा देंगे, शर्त है कि शुद्ध मन लाइए. Samadhi is easy. Within 2 minutes, I guarantee you will have samadhi. But condition is that bring a purified mind. So it is true. Higher spiritual practices, yoga, Vedanta, they are much easier. Bhakti. We all complain, why love of God is not coming? Why is mechanical? Impurity of mind. At the root of all of that is impurity of mind. Purified mind, to the extent mind is purified. It doesn't have to be 100%. The more mind is purified, easy, bhakti becomes easy, upasana, meditation becomes easy, and jnana becomes at least more and more clear what is being said in Vedanta. Karma yoga. Now let's go deeper into this karma yoga. With purified mind, when you meditate, meditation becomes focused. With purified and meditative mind, when you listen to Vedanta, immediately Aham Brahmasmi will come. Ignorance will go, knowledge will flash. So does that mean first 30 years I have to do karma yoga, after retirement only meditation, and then at the deathbed only Vedanta class I have to listen? No. All will go together. But first of all, karma yoga is very beneficial. Transforming our actions into worship, into spiritual practice. How? First of all, what is karma? Action. Another meaning of karma is the result of action. So as Hindus, as Buddhists, as Jains and Sikhs, all the Indian religions, they have one thing in common: karma. Karma is something they all believe in. One sadhu in Uttarakhand, he put it nicely. Ye karma or punarjanma, ye gambhir tattva hai Mahatma ji. He says this karma and also this rebirth, many lifetimes, this is accepted by all schools of Hinduism, all schools of Buddhism, all schools of Jainism and Sikhism, that we have karma and we have multiple lifetimes. I mentioned yesterday the talk I gave at NYU. There was a discussion, panel discussion. They had a very nice topic. The subject was consciousness and life, but the title was very nice. Do all dogs go to heaven? Immediately as Hindus we think of Yudhishthira going in Mahabharata, the end of Mahabharata, and Dharma is going as the dog. But anyway, I said from a Hindu's answer, there is no objection. Every dog, human being, whatever it is, we are all jivatmas. And ultimately we can all go to heaven, but that is not a solution. If you go to heaven, you will come back again. Go to hell, you will come back again. Until you get out of this chakra of janma mrityu. So going to heaven is not the solution. Vivekananda shocked people when he came here more than 100 years back. And he said, I have not come here to teach you how to go to heaven. I have come here to teach you how to stop going to heaven. What he meant was, he was being rhetorical, this cycle of birth and death. It is common to all Indian schools, Hindu and non-Hindu. Karma. What is this karma? What is this law of karma? Good, Swami Vivekananda put it very nicely. Good, good, bad, bad, none escape the law. So dharma, if we do dharma, it generates something called punya. Dharma is righteous action, punya is merit. And that punya will generate happiness, sukha. Dharma, punya, sukha. Adharma, sinful action, generates papa, sin. And that papa generates dukkha. So this is the law of karma. Dharma, punya, sukha. Adharma, papa, dukkha. And Vivekananda says, good, good. Good action, good result. Bad, bad. And none escape the law. Then he goes on to say, whosoever wears a form, that means if you are embodied, wears the chain too. There's a chain which is connected to this body. Past karma, prarabdha karma. Then what is the use of Vedanta? What is the use of bhakti? What is the use of meditation? All that. If we are bound by the law of karma, whatever we have done will give result. What we are doing now will give result in the future. That's it. Then Swami Vivekananda says, but far beyond name and form is Atman ever free. No, thou art that, sannyasi bold, say Om Tat Sat Om. His song of the sannyasi. And that moksha, mukti, that is the goal, and mukti is from this law of karma. To go beyond this causality, beyond this cycle of birth and death. What fuels this cycle of birth and death is law of karma. Why do we do these karmas? Why do we do good and bad? Because we have this likes and dislikes, raga dvesha. I'm coming to the very secret, the heart of karma yoga. Raga Dvesha. Raga Dvesha means certain things that I like, pleasant things. Dvesha, I dislike unpleasant things, unpleasant situations, unpleasant people. And I want my life to go in this way. I don't want my life to go in that way. Sometimes what I want is so tempting that I do wrong things. I know it's wrong, but I do it. I can't stop. Duryodhana, when Krishna taught him, what you are doing is wrong. You should do dharma, don't do adharma. Duryodhana said, don't teach me dharma, adharma. I know what is dharma and adharma. My problem is not that. I know what is dharma, but I don't want to do it. I know what is bad, but I can't stop myself from doing it. Janami dharmam nacha me pravritti. I know dharma, but I don't feel like it. Janami adharmam nacha me nivritti. I know what I'm doing is wrong, adharma, but I can't stop myself. Why not? If you know something is good, why aren't you doing it? If you know something is bad, why aren't you stopping yourself? Kenapi devena hridistitena yatha niyojito asmi tatha karomi. There's some power within me which is forcing me in this way. What is that power? It's nothing other than our past conditioning, our likes and dislikes. You're unable, Duryodhana is unable to bring it under control. Therefore, he is a villain. The hero, Arjuna, is somebody who's struggling to bring his likes and dislikes under control, under discipline. He asked the same question to Krishna. Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi vashneya baladiva niyojita. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks exactly same words as Duryodhana with a crucial difference. He says to Krishna, why does a person do wrong things? Unwillingly also. Baladiva niyojita. Some force is pushing. See, same words as Duryodhana. But the difference is this. Duryodhana gave it as a statement of fact. This is the situation. I have no interest in changing it. It can't be changed. This is life. That is a materialist approach. Arjuna's was a question. This is the situation I find myself in. How can I change? Please teach me. Then only Gita will take effect. If we have a question, that's why we come to listen to talks or we study, we do spiritual practice. So, likes and dislikes are propelling us. Now, how can Karma Yoga help? Here is the beauty, the power of Karma Yoga. What Karma Yoga does is exactly what we do in the temple. When we go to the temple, we worship the priest, or we do some rituals, we worship. And the work we are doing there, we're chanting mantras, offering something, meditating. So all this kind of physical and mental work is work, it's action. But it's all connected to Devata. It's connected to Durga or Ganapati or Shiva or Hari. And so all my action is God-centered in the temple. And the result of that action, remember, dharma, punya, sukha, adharma, papa, dukkha. But when I do it as puja, what happens? As a result of the puja, you will get prasad. You offer something, and that comes back to you as prasad. Whatever will come back to me in life, when I convert my actions into puja, will be prasad. Whatever happens in life, it will be the result of my actions. But what is my action? It is worship of the Lord. Earlier, what was my action? Raga Dvesha. I want this, therefore I am doing it. I want to avoid that, therefore I am doing this. But now, all I am doing is what is expected of me, my duty as worship of my Lord. My Bhagavan is present everywhere. I am worshipping my Lord in the temple, outside the temple, in the family, in the office, in the community. Internally, my attitude is, whatever I am doing, Tava Aradhana, it is your worship, my Lord. If all my actions are puja, then what I will get, karma phala, will be prasad. And in prasad, I have no choice. I may like mango, I may not like pineapple, but when the prasad is offered to me in the temple, if pineapple is there and offered to me, will I say, I don't like pineapple? No. It is coming from the Lord. It is most precious to me. Whatever comes, that's most precious to me. You may have heard of this great Vishishtadvaita, Vedanta Deshika, Vishishtadvaita saint, after Ramanuja. In fact, he was a contemporary of the great Advaitin, Vidyaranya Muni. They were contemporaries. So Vedanta Deshika, great devotee of Narayana. One day he's going in the village and some children are playing with a ratha, with a chariot, and the Utsava Murti is there in the chariot, like a toy. And the children are pulling it and they are acting like the priest in the temple, you know. They've got the little toy chariot and the little Murti there, and they are offering bhoga. They have made little balls from the clay and they're offering bhoga. So the little child, when Vedanta Desika, the great saint, is walking along there, the child offers this bhoga, this prasad to Vedanta Desika. Now see his reaction. Immediately with tears in his eyes, he says, "What grace, my Lord, that unasked for, here in the middle of the road you have offered me by yourself, your prasad." He stuffed his mouth with that clay balls. And in that dirt itself, Shashtanga Pranam to that little toy chariot. You see, this is prasada buddhi. Whatever comes in life is coming to me as a result of the puja that I have done to the Lord. The Lord is giving back. Health comes, very good, that is your prasad. Illness comes, all right, I have no problem. My only concern is with my Lord. Good and bad, generally things will be good when you do this. Good and bad, both are accepted as prasad. Pleasant, unpleasant, both are accepted as prasad. This is karma yoga. Following raga dvesha, struggling with the world, karma. Trying to control it, that is dharmika karma. But converting everything into worship is karma yoga. It becomes karma yoga. Then everything in life is accepted as prasada. And then whole life becomes worship. One of the most interesting places I ever gave a talk was, I was coming through Lucknow airport once, and in India, at night, I was the transit passenger. And this, you know, they have this, like TSA here in the United States, you have the CISF police security people there. One sergeant saw me, I was dressed like this, and he said, "Swamiji, kuch boliye. Swamiji, tell us something, give us a talk." I said, "Yeah, here." So yes, there, you know, they make you stand on top of a box and they pat you down. So they made me stand on top of a box, and he called the others. There are no passengers. So they all come with guns and all, they are standing. "Kuch boliye, give a talk." I thought, what talk I will give here? Then I asked him that, "आप घर से निकलने से पहले पूजा करके निकलते हैं?" When it's UP, so Uttar Pradesh, you do puja before leaving the house? And the gentleman, very sincere, simple person, he said, "हाँ जी, हनुमान जी को फूल चढ़ाते हैं. Before leaving house, I put flowers at the feet of Lord Hanuman." And I said, "See, as these passengers go in front of you, check them firmly, politely, and each one you pass, mentally put one more flower at the feet of Lord Hanuman, Anjaneya. Like this you do." He was so happy, simple person, you see, simple heart. Immediately he liked the idea. He said, "Arey wah, din bhar Hanuman ji ka puja. Whole day I can worship Lord Hanuman." Yes, you can. This is the crucial idea of karma yoga. Now see the power of karma yoga. So what is the basic idea? Two components. All my work I can do as worship of the Lord. It's puja. So whatever will come to me in life will become prasad. And with that, detachment. That I am here to do the puja only. I am not here to get the prasad. So, that detachment with the results of the work. If you can combine puja attitude with detachment of the results of the work, it becomes karma yoga. Why, if you are detached from the results of the work, then why are you doing it all? I am doing it to worship God. That is my motive. I have a motive. It's not motiveless. One great Swami, Anamayanandaji, I met him in New Delhi many years ago. I was a brahmachari. I remember one day I asked this question: how can you do karma without any motivation? So one day he was coming from the temple. He had some knee problem, very elderly. So I helped him, held his hand, took him to his room in New Delhi Ramakrishna Math Ashram. As he entered the room, I was asking the question and he did not answer. How can you do work without any motivation? He did not say anything. As he entered the room, I still remember clearly, he was a huge man. He turned around to me, closing the door, he said, "This disinterested work, my boy, not uninterested work. In English, if you dictionary, you'll see two words, disinterested and uninterested. Disinterested means I don't have any personal gain equation in that moment. No axe to grind, and no personal angle to this. I am doing this work because it is good to do this work. Uninterested work means, we have this chalta hai. Since I will not get anything out of it, somehow I will do it. But we don't do that. You see, when you do puja, I'm not getting anything out of it. But will I ever do that in the front of the Lord? Will I casually do something? No, we never do that. Similarly in work, I have this disinterested attitude means no personal motivation, but not uninterested. I will do it very well, with all devotion, because I'm worshipping God, with maximum effort. That becomes karma yoga. Do it as well as you can, out of love for God, who is present there, and detached from the fruits. Whatever comes is prasad for me. This is the essence of karma yoga. Now see the power of karma yoga, and then I'll stop. Most people complain, spirituality is very difficult, Swamiji. Why? This Vedanta, once in a while Vedanta talk is fine. But a whole week I am busy. Family is there, house has to be maintained. You don't know, car insurance and bank work and hospital problems, then job, children, and so many things have to be dealt with. Where is the time for Vedanta? Meditation. After hard work throughout the day, sit down for meditation, you feel drowsy. So, spiritual practice becomes difficult if we divorce spirituality from our secular life. If we have two lives, one worldly life, one temple life, then what will happen is spiritual life will become more difficult, because maximum energy is sucked out by the world, by family, by job, by personal problems. Maximum energy goes there, maximum time goes there. What is left over for God will become less and less. That's why spiritual life is so difficult. Not only that, people will complain, sit for meditation, 1,000 different problems come in the mind. What is the answer? The answer is karma yoga. This secular life, this so-called family life, job life, personal problems, all of that convert into puja. Karma yoga is meant for that. Difficult? Not so difficult. If Arjuna can do it in the battlefield, worst human activity, battlefield, Ukraine, what is going on there? Worst human activity. There, if it is possible to be spiritual, we can all be spiritual in our lives. Our life is not as difficult as that. It's not as terrible as that. So in your personal life, professional life, family life, we can all spiritualize. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell I'm worshipping God in by giving you food. They'll think mom has gone crazy or something. You mentally have that attitude. You convert it. You'll see whole day will become puja, whole week and month and whole life will become puja. You will feel a gladness, a peace, a detachment. When everything is puja and everything is prasad for you, you will be detached automatically. You will feel freedom. You will benefit and everybody else around you will benefit. They will feel something in you, change in you. An upliftment, a sublime kind of radiance coming from you, they will feel it. You will feel much happier, at peace. Concentration. Sitting for meditation, mind is going here and there. Don't sit for meditation. With open eyes, see God. Swami Ashokananda ji, who was the head of the Vedanta Society in San Francisco in the 1940s and 50s, he said, where will I see God? Foolish question. Where will you not see God? The same Lord, every scripture says in Vedanta, my Lord is present in all living beings. Swami Vivekananda said, my God, the sick, my God, the poor, my God, the uneducated. In all these places, the Lord is playing and you can offer service there. In the society, in the family, in the office. If nothing is needed, just some smile, just some tolerance on your part. Instead of reacting with anger and irritation, if you can hold back a little bit, that also is a sadhana. All of these ways we will find God all around us. Imagine the happiness of such a person, the joy of such a person, to be surrounded in an ocean of God all the time and be engaged. I was just thinking, Hanumanji is the best example of karma yogi. In Hanuman Chalisa there is a line, Rama kaj karibe ko atura, who is always eager, intensely eager to do something for Rama. Like that, to do something. The Lord does not accept service from everybody. So if we can do something, we will feel blessed. Not everybody. Lord keeps a lot of people in distance. Bahar se. So if Lord is accepting a little bit of service from us, community service, in the family, somewhere, we should be blessed. We should take that opportunity to be of service to the Lord. So this is the tremendous power of Karma Yoga. Once you serve, see, sitting and meditating on God, Shiva or Vishnu, difficult. Mind goes here and there. But the same Shiva is in front of me as the patient in the hospital or at home. Mind will not go here and there. The patient will make sure your mind is on your work. Those who have taken care of a sick person, you know how difficult it is. So your mind will be focused. Karma Yoga automatically focuses your mind. And then you will find the amazing thing is other yogas will become much easier. Bhakti is easier. Dhyana is easier. Gyana comes just like that for a Karma Yogi. Those who have not done Karma Yoga, straight Upanishad, Aham Brahmasmi, very difficult. They will have 100 different complaints. All complaints are because Karma Yoga has not been done earlier. Karma Yoga is done properly, Chitta Shuddhi, meditation is easy, devotion comes automatically. Purified mind runs to Bhagavan. Purified mind runs to Bhagavan. Bhakti comes automatically in a pure mind. And Gyana is easy for a pure mind. You will read Upanishad, you will feel, of course, it's true. It's a matter of fact. So this is advertisement for Karma Yoga. Time is over, and what we will do is, we will have a Q&A. You can, where should they come and ask the question? Here. You should come here and ask, right? Let me do the peace chant first. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. All right, don't be shy. Please come up here and ask. Yeah. Yeah, that will be good. If you can line up on one side and tell us your name, ask the question.
My name is Vishwanath, and I've been attending your lectures on the internet, and the first thing you require for a pure mind is what's called as viveka, where you differentiate between the real and the unreal. How do you actually do that in life?
First thing that we require for Vedanta is, as he said, the sadhan chatushtay. Sadhan chatushtay. You see, if the sadhan chatushtay, 4 qualifications, and these qualifications are actually practices. If those practices are there in our life, Vedanta actually becomes easy. What are those practices? Many of you have attended Vedanta classes. I will not explain in detail, but quickly. Viveka, as he said, discernment between eternal, non-eternal. There is some ultimate, worthwhile, spiritual reality. Brahman, Atman, something is there. Everything else is changing and worthless in comparison to that. This understanding is Viveka. Then Vairagya, dispassion for the non-eternal and a pull towards the eternal. So dispassion for the non-eternal is Vairagya. Then there are 6 disciplines. And they are packed into one called Shat Sampatti, 6-fold treasures. What are they? The Shama, quietness of the mind. Dhamma, control of the organs. Then Titiksha, a kind of spiritual toughness. In spite of all problems in life, I will stick to Vedanta. How much trouble we put up for earning money, raising a family. So stick to Vedanta in spite of trouble. Titiksha. Then there is Uparati, withdrawal from too much busyness, engagement with the world. One sadhu put it nicely. Vedant ka sadhan, Mahatma ji, thoda piche hatke hota hai. You have to step back a little for spiritual practice. That is Uparati, withdraw. Little bit. Then Samadhana, focus. Focus on Vedanta. To the exclusion. When you focus, you have to cut out other things. Minimize your engagement in other things in life. And then Shraddha, Guru and Shastra Vakya, Vishwasa. That means a firm faith. Though I don't understand it so far, there is something worthwhile in this Vedanta. Let me pursue it and see. Then finally Mumukshutvam, intense desire to be free. So 4-fold sadhana required. If more we have of this, easier Vedanta is. But it's not that out of this purity of mind will come. Purity of mind leads to these 4-fold sadhanas. Karma Yoga will make us fit for Vedanta. As we do Karma Yoga, the more and more we try to think my daily activities are puja and a little detachment from the results, prasada buddhi, the more and more those fourfold qualifications will increase in my life. So purification of mind leads to the viveka, vairagya, 6 disciplines, mokshuttam. Those will come in my life the more I purify my life. Please. Where is the microphone? Yes. Is it on?
It's on.
Yeah.
Pranam Swamiji, my name is Subramaniam Vemuri. I am very much associated with this temple. I'm also very much associated with the Vivekananda Kendra in Kanyakumari. I'm a lifetime member. I joined them in 1994 and I studied as much as I could. So here is my understanding of Advaita philosophy, the Aham Brahmasmi. I think the amplification of this story, the exemplary story of this is the story of Ekalavya. Ekalavya was told by Dronacharya, you are neither Kshatriya nor Brahmin, you are unfit to be taught archery, we will not teach you, you are unfit. If he was to accept that, he would have been nobody, he would have been failure. He did not accept that. He had a desire, interest to say, Aham Brahmasmi, I can do what I want to do, this is what I want to do, and he put his own effort in there. Nobody taught him, he taught himself, his self-discipline taught himself, his discipline taught himself, his determination, discipline, all those things taught him what he wanted to be, and he beat even Arjuna.
So
isn't that
question?
what Aham Brahmasmi means? So you have all the power within you, invoke the divinity within you to achieve what you achieve. So the karma interpretation that something is destined for you, you cannot do anything, you are just a tool, that is not right.
Yes.
This is my question. Please
Yes.
address that. The karma philosophy and also the other question.
The
I had
Vedanta.
was-
All
No,
right, let me respond to that. You're right. In fact, as I said, all spirituality is meant to take you beyond karma. When I talk about karma, people become interested in law of karma. But spirituality is not about law of karma. To transcend karma. Look, what is bhakti? Unconditional love. Unconditional means beyond karma. Karma is condition. This leads to that. That is karma. What is karma yoga? Unselfish work, selfless work. When I do something, I want something in return, that is karma. When I do something and don't want anything in return, that is going beyond karma. So every yoga takes us beyond karma. And what you just said, that the idea of Aham Brahmasmi, and that should be able to raise us beyond the shackles of karma. We are not bound by karma. Anything and everything is possible for us. All powers are within the soul itself, and they are bought out by karma yoga. Not by karma yoga. All spiritual practices bring out the inherent powers within us. They manifest. That's why I like Swami Vivekananda's definition of religion. Religion is the manifestation of the divinity already within us. Now notice, in classical Advaita Vedanta, how would you define religion? Religion is the realization or the knowledge of the divinity within us. Brahmavit, the knower of Brahman. But Vivekananda gives some stress on not just knowledge, but manifestation. Actually in life, it should be expressed in life. So he says, he does not say religion is the knowledge of the divinity within us. He says religion is the manifestation of the divinity within us. What is manifestation? First of all, knowledge. Knowledge has to be there. Realization has to be there. That paradigm shift has to be there. I am not body-mind. Aham Brahmasmi. But then, through the body-mind, the life of a Jivan Mukta must be lived. And that my life should change. My knowledge should have the power to change my life and the lives of those around me. So that's what he said is the manifestation of the power within. Thank you so much. That's a good point. Yes.
So the second question I have got is...
we'll take it one by one.
Thank you.
We'll take it later. Yes. So please tell us your name and keep the question short.
Yeah, my name is Dinesh Sharma. My question is regarding Karma Yoga. And
Mic. Closer to the mic.
I'm just wondering, you tied Karma Yoga very strongly with the Bhakti Yoga, God, or, Prasad and all that. Is there Karma Yoga without faith in God, Ishtadev, or something like that? I mean,
Yes.
is there hope for you if
Correct.
you don't have bhakti in you?
Correct. It's a good question. And actually Swami Vivekananda says this in his classic book, Karma Yoga. One of the greatest American novelists, J.D. Salinger, he was close to Swami Nikhilananda in the in the Ramakrishna Vivekananda Center in New York. And Salinger writes that there are these two classic little books written by Vivekananda, Raja Yoga and Karma Yoga, which our American youth would do well to carry around in their pockets. So Karma Yoga is a classic book. There he mentions this point, which, where is the, Dr. Sabu? Yes. So there is, please sit. He mentions this point. It can be done without faith in God. It doesn't have to be an expression of bhakti. It can be, this is good to do, this is what I should do, I do it for the welfare of everybody without any condition. This is my, as he says, always give, never be in the position of asking. If you just have that, see, no word God is not involved there. If I am in the position of giving always, in whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever I think, I don't want anything, that becomes Karma Yoga. And there, Ishta Devata, devotion to God, worship of God through my work, prasad buddhi, those things are not involved. Straight away, my duty, what I can do for the world, I do without any expectation. That becomes Karma Yoga. From Gyana, Advaita perspective, Karma Yoga can be done. In the Gita, Sri Krishna says, 3 times you have said this in different ways. One idea. Prakrityeva karmani kriyamanani sarvasha yapashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati. Nature alone does everything in this universe. Very scientific approach. It's actually a Sankhyan approach. Everything in this universe is done by nature, including this body, including my thoughts, my language, my activities. Everything depends on nature. I am the witness. The one who sees this has understood what the Atman is the witness consciousness. It's a very Sankhyan idea, Prakriti Purusha, consciousness and matter. But you can work like this, as a witness. Let all work be done through this body. What work? What is to be done? What this body, this person should do according to society, according to morality, what it should do, let it live the best possible life. I am the witness. I'm not even sitting here to get an award. You have lived the best possible life award. No, I don't even want that. So that is a Gyana way of doing Karma Yoga, or simply, as Vivekananda says, duty for duty's sake. Forget God talk, Advaita talk, duty for duty's sake. I remember this gentleman, I don't know what happened to him, many years ago in Calcutta, in a conference of teachers of colleges. I was representing one of the colleges of the Ramakrishna Mission. I was a brahmachari. And this gentleman, who was an atheist, did not believe in God. He's a professor of some college. We got talking, very interesting gentleman. He said, my attitude is, I don't want anything. If I can be of use to somebody, I will be of use. I told the principal of our college, anytime there is some work, sir, you tell me, I will go. So he has sent me to this meeting on a holiday. No problem, I'm ready to work. He did not get married. Half of his income as the college professor, he donates to students who need it, and so on. So I said, what did you get out of this? See, he does not believe in God, atheist. He gave me some amazing answer. He has not read Gita, but the result of Karma Yoga he has got. You know what he told me? He said, Swamiji, he said, Maharaj, I find I have no desire for anything at all. I am quite full. I don't want anything in life. Now that is actually the result. This is pure mind. So that means Karma Yoga done just as Karma Yoga, without asking, without any other extra devotional side or philosophical side, just as Karma Yoga can transform a person's character. Vivekananda emphasized exactly what you asked. Vivekananda mentions it in his Karma Yoga. It can be done. It's a very valid philosophy to do it in that way. I have seen one case, let me just mention. Recently I went to India and I went to Odisha and I met a very interesting person. There is this new institute in India called the Kalinga Institute of Information Technology, KIIT. And they have another very nicely named Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, KISS. And what they do is very interesting. These are two universities. The first university is basically a money spinner, of which there are many in India. So they have a business school, they have medical school, they have engineering school, they have fashion design school, they have law school, and they charge quite well. So a lot of money is generated. But what they do next is amazing. They take that surplus and they pour it into this other university, where they have got, you'll be stunned to know, 30,000 students, all first generation learners from the forests and mountains of interior Odisha. They are all tribal students. Their parents have never come to school. They are coming from school to college, free education. They stay, their food, their medical expenses, and all education, everything is covered entirely from the profits generated from that. And they say we have no donor dependency. People want to give, but we don't have to ask because we are independent. We can generate our own surpluses. Now, I was very, very impressed. I saw that 7,000 tribal children sitting in a hall. 7,000. It's a social transformation which is taking place. Now, why I'm saying this? One man. This gentleman's name is Achyuta Samanta. So he was a professor in a college. And they showed me that one day, suddenly he gave up his job. As a lecturer in a college, chemistry lecturer. He gave up his job. He took a building on rent, small building. They showed that building. With 12 students and 2 teachers, he started giving free education. From that, there are now total 60,000 students, 2 universities. He is the founder of all of that. And yet, he takes nothing from it. He doesn't even hold any official position. Not one position he has given to any of his family members. And he is there only if he is invited. His office is very interesting. It's a lawn. He just sits there, office gathers around him. Now, just see why he's done it. He's a very devoted man, but he does not feel that he is worshipping God in doing this. He just says, it is good to do this. And he says, I am completely fulfilled. I don't feel, people ask him, you have sacrificed so much. No sacrifice at all. I am so fulfilled, he says. So he came, it was very nice of him to come and meet me. We had a conversation. This idea of doing good for the sake of doing good, that's a very spiritual idea. That is karma yoga, definitely. Why bhakti then? Why did I add God, prasad, buddhi? Sri Ramakrishna says, if you add love to this, it becomes easier. So, he gave an example, simple example. He says, the dry hay you put in the front of cattle will eat it, but you mix, he says, mix oil cake with it. So he has seen in the village, the cattle will eat it more. So mixing the oil cake with it, with the dry hay, I don't really understand the reference because I've never done Goshala work myself, but that is what is adding bhakti to karma. It makes it easier for most of us. But it depends on your spiritual makeup, your mindset. Sorry for the long answer, but I wanted to share this. Please come.
Swamiji, my name is Lokesh. I'm one of the many Ekalavyas learning through YouTube, and it's a pleasure to see you here. Thank you for coming. While I'm doing Shravana through your lectures, I'm also doing Mananam, and one of the questions I had was regarding the nature of Brahman. So when you sleep, one becomes many. The mind becomes the dream universe where there are many people. It's because of ignorance. You're not aware that you are this mind. Is the nature of Brahman also the whole universe manifests because he's ignorant? Or if we're assuming that it's his power, then that means he's doing action. So another question is if...
Okay, one at a time.
It's continuation.
Yeah, just go.
So when you're sleeping, you have these dream characters. When Ranganathan Swami said, when I close my eyes, it's peace. When I open my eyes, it's how can I help? If you see them as dream characters, why should you even help? But if you see them as God, then you should do everything possible to help. Like you shouldn't sleep more than what is required. You shouldn't take vacation. You should, how can you get Purnatvam when they're suffering and you see that suffering person is also God? Like how do you stay balanced between these two?
Right. So there are two questions. One is, in the dream, We think people are real, there are real people around us, but it all depends on our ignorance. I don't know that I am dreaming. And the dreaming mind then projects this world. Is it like that? Yeah, a little bit like that. In Dakshinamurti Stotra, he says, Yatha swapnaya nidraya. As in dreams, in sleep, we dream. And we see this whole dream world projected before us. Somewhat like that. Examples are not exactly, they won't match what is being exemplified. So, in dreams, you wake up from the dream world will disappear. Here, you wake up from the dream of Jagrat and you realize, I am Brahman. It's not that the Jagrat world will disappear. It will still appear like that. When you realize that the blue sky is not actually blue, it is colorless. Then you look up and what do you see? Blue sky. The desert, there's no water there, it's a mirage. When you look back, what will you see? It looks like water. But you know it's not water. So the knowledge is like that. You will see the same body, same mind, same people around, but you realize it's one existence, consciousness, bliss appearing in so many ways. So this will be the realization. The second question is that I want to help people. I want to be of service to others. If they are dream characters, what's the point? Why would I want to be of service to anybody? But notice, in the dream, when you wake up, you were there in your own dream and that was also a dream character. When I'm this waking state, I say, all these are my dreams. Whose dreams? This fellow's dreams, but this fellow is also part of the dream. If I can dismiss myself also as this little individual being and in one consciousness all is appearing, then the whole perspective will change. The disaster happens when I think, here is a dream. I am all right. I am the reality. No. If this is a dream, then whatever is included here must be also a dream in one background consciousness. So the thing here is to stress the oneness. Instead of the dream-like nature of things, stress the oneness. Stress the oneness that it is one divinity appearing in all these ways. Right? What is dream is the apparent difference. Krishna says, avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. One undivided consciousness in all beings, as if divided. A few hundred people here. Few hundred bodies here, correct. Few hundred personalities, minds here, correct. Few hundred consciousnesses. I think it was Heisenberg who said that consciousness is that singular which has no plural. So we are one consciousness, one sat, one chit, shining through many bodies and minds. And so your response to that is the worship of that one divinity. If I am finding myself in one body and mind, I find myself in so many other ways. If I try to remove the sorrows of this body mind, I will try to remove the sorrows of those body minds also. This is called the golden rule in all religions. This principle is found everywhere. Explanation is found in Advaita. What is the principle? That treat others as you would have them treat you. It's called the golden rule. And this is found in every religion. Gita also. Who is the greatest yogi? Krishna says, Sukham va yadiva dukkham atma upamyena sarvatra yo pashyati Arjuna. Sukham va yadiva dukkham sa yogi paramo mata. Who sees sorrow and happiness in other beings as my own sorrow and happiness. That is the best yogi. This is called golden rule of religion. In United Nations, in New York, if you go to the United Nations headquarters on 3rd floor, it's written in big rock stone, the golden rule. They treat others as you would have them treat yourself. But why? Why will I treat others? I want good treatment from all of you. Why will I give you good treatment? If I can avoid it and escape, I can do that? No. What is the explanation? Because I and you are ultimately not different. Bodies are different. Persons are different. As long as we think we are persons, we will feel different. When we think we are the Atman, we see that, we will feel a oneness with everybody. Then service becomes spirituality. Yeah, that's what I would like to say. Thank you. Please come. Gentlemen.
Namaskar, Swamiji.
Namaskar.
My name is Shank Balaji.
Ji.
I have a question. I'm a student of comparative religion. Although I'm born as a Hindu, I practice Hinduism, but I dwell into other religions. With that introduction, my question is, Buddha had simple 4 and 8 truths, noble truths. They are so simple and easy to comprehend and understand and appreciate, at least by me. So why does Hinduism does not have such truths that one can understand so comfortably as Buddha explained? Thank you.
Yes. So why doesn't Hinduism have simple truths like say what the Buddha taught? Hinduism does. The only thing is Hinduism has many such sets of truths. That's what makes it complicated. Just now I talked about, notice, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That's a simple way of putting life, describing life. Artha, kama, dharma, moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That's one way of looking at life. Ashtanga yoga, like Buddha's Ashtanga Marga, Ashtanga Yoga in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. In Advaita Vedanta, Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. So there are these simple formulations which will give you the essence of the whole system. But Hinduism is like a vast mansion of which I would say other religions are like rooms. So other religions are much simpler that way. Hinduism has, I call it a full spectrum religion. Everything is there in Hinduism. You want bhakti traditions, it's there. I remember one interfaith conference organized by the Sikhs on 300 years of Gutta Gaddi in Nanded, where Guru Gobind Singh, he made Guru Granth Sahib the Guru of the Sikhs, after the 10 Gurus. So 300 years of that event was being celebrated, interfaith conference. I was there as representative of Hinduism, and there was in fact a rabbi from New York. One rabbi said, yes, we are everywhere. So, and I found, as a representative of Hinduism, I was at home with people from all religions. But, so when Muslims, Sikhs, some Hindus, Christians, Jews standing up and saying, God is one, we are all the children of God, all very good, everybody can sort of accept. Except I found a group of lamas had been sent by the Dalai Lama. They were sitting at the back. They were very gentle people. They were sitting and smiling. From their perspective, what God? What are you speaking about? It's a superstition. But I, as a Hindu, I can appreciate both sides. Yesterday I talked about Tat and Tvam, God-centered religion and self-inquiry-based religion. I remember I sat in a breakfast table with the lamas. Only one of them could speak some broken Hindi, others spoke only Tibetan. So that lama translated. So he said, our brothers, the lamas are asking, please explain your Vedanta. So I said, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Brahman is infinite existence, consciousness. Immediately they said, no. Any positive description is not acceptable. Satchidananda Brahma. No. And they have got good reason to say why. No. Then I thought, aisa nahi hoga. This is not the way. I have to go around the other way. I said, Esha neti atma. What is this atma? Not this, not that. Whatever you can describe, this is atma, Satchidananda, whatever, not this. Body, mind, intellect, not this. Then it is nothing, not that also. Then those lamas, they went into a huddle, like football team, when they get into a huddle like this, they went into a huddle. Some quick discussion they had in Tibetan. Then they turned around, all were smiling. And then the interpreter said, Hamare Guruji bolte hain, the head lama is saying, you can be a good Buddhist, you come to our side. So I say, Hindu can be good, Christian, Muslim, Jew, because you have Vaishnavism, Shaktaism, Shaivism, you can be a good devotee. But you can also be a good Jain, you can be a good Buddhist. So, full spectrum. That is the beauty of Hinduism. You have a whole range of systems. Each system, yes, that's true. Each system, however, is pretty simple and logically worked out. You take one particular system, Patanjali Yoga, it's very clearly worked out. There is no vagueness there. Advaita Vedanta, very clearly, very logically worked out. The only thing is, you have a whole range of such systems. And that's the beauty. What is good one shop which sells only one brand, or supermarket which sells you 100 different brands. So Hinduism is like this huge, this American supermarket, like that. Yes, please come. Tell us your name.
Hi, Swamiji, my name is Pankaj.
Yes.
It's actually a fan moment for me. I have been following you closely for all your lectures. I have listened to your all the classes, Aprokshanbhuti, Vedanta Sara, everything. My question here is specifically around one of the topics that you covered in Aprokshanbhuti, wherein you said that like to transcend beyond the sufferings of the bad karma or something, right? You said at the level of Brahman, we are literally not bound to these bad karmas, or that's what is actually happening to me. So, because as an intellectual being, right, all the roads basically end to understanding the Gyana Yoga, understanding what is our true nature. So, at a level of, my basic question is, at a level of Brahman, are we really free from the bad karmas or anything? And the continuation question to that is, that one of the famous like personality on the YouTube, right, he is saying that the anhat sound or the sound of silence, what is called, is like it's actually the true nature of Brahman. So that is actually the nature of Brahman. So if we know sound of silence, now we have known the Brahman. So do you think these two statements are correct?
Okay, two precise statements. I can deal with them quickly. Is Brahman our real nature? Is it beyond karma? Yes. Like Swami Vivekananda said, good, good, bad, bad, none escape the law. Whosoever wears a form, wears the chain too. But far beyond name and form is Atman ever free. Know thou art that. You are that Atman. Say Om Tat Sat. Say Sannyasi board, say Om Tat Sat Om. See, far beyond name and form, Atman is ever free, so Atman is far beyond, I am not free. No, you are that Atman. It is by Brahma, the kind of ignorance which makes me think I am trapped in this one body and mind. You are not. The second one, I think I know who you are talking about. I think I have met him also. Yes, I have met him. Wonderful person. And he had actually a mystical experience and he continuously hears this. Okay, what is the Advaitic perspective on that? The Advaitic perspective is, Brahman is not an object. So if it is a particular kind of experience, underlying all experience, but particular kind of experience to the exclusion of everything else, then that can't be Brahman itself. It will not be other than Brahman, but he is not wrong. Mandukya Karika, Mandukya Upanishad makes this clear. When it says Om is Brahman, A, U, Ma, and the silence after Om. The silence after Om, when you chant A, U, Ma, and then silence, that silence is appearing to consciousness. That consciousness is Brahman. That consciousness to which the silence is appearing, that consciousness to which A is appearing, U is appearing, Ma is appearing, that consciousness is Brahman. So that Anahata Dhvani is itself, in an exclusive sense, it's not Brahman, but it points directly to Brahman. Yeah. All right, thank you. Please come. So don't add any more. We'll just go up to that and stop because time is a limit. Yes.
It's too much. We can also tell them for tomorrow.
We'll see. We've got some time. Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Namaskar, Swamiji.
Namaskar.
So my question is, Brahma is Satchitanand.
Yes.
Existence, consciousness, bliss.
Yes.
So then why or what Brahm turns into Ishvara, which then turns into this whole world?
Yes. The answer, direct answer, if you read Gaudapada, it doesn't. It's like, in dreamer's mind, why this nightmare, good dream, bad dream? Why are all these things happening? What's the direct answer? They are not happening. That's the definition of a dream. So it's not that Brahman was there, perfect Satchidananda, then somehow it became Ishvara, Bhagavan, still perfect, but then problem started. That fellow God became all this world, and now we are in trouble. So the famous English author, Somerset Maugham, he went and met Ramana Maharshi once. He went to India. And then he wrote this book The Razor's Edge, which became very popular at one time. Even I as a college kid, I've read it. At one time, people all over the world used to read it. Story of a young American man who goes from, after First World War, he goes to India. And in that book, there is a character called Sri Ganesha, who is modeled after Ramana Maharshi. So Somerset Maugham at one place he says, not in that book, elsewhere he says, so the Hindus say that Brahman has projected himself, has created this entire universe. And then he, dry British humor, he says, I felt Brahman could have let well enough alone. Nahi karta to acha hota. So why? Why Brahman has done all this? The answer from an Advaitic perspective is, Brahman has not done all this. Brahman is still Brahman. We get into the idea it was perfect. Somehow we have become separated from Brahman. Brahman has become Ishvara. I have become Jiva. I have to worship Ishvara. After many lifetimes, if Ishvara, my file, like Indian government file takes long time to be passed. This fellow, Sarvapriyananda, his file is pending many lifetimes. Moksha. Okay, signed. Go, moksha. At last. Not like that. Gaudapada Acharya says in... he says, very beautiful karika, very harsh language. I don't know if I should say it in a temple. He says, chapter 32nd? No, but the first verse of, I think, the 4th chapter. Upasana shrito jivo jate brahmani vartate pragutpatte rajam sarvam tena kripana so smritaha. He says, these people dedicated who are completely into dualistic mode of devotion. God is there, I am the upasaka, worshipper of God. Upasana ashrito dharmo. It's upasana ashrito dharma. Dharma is the word he uses for jiva. It's a Buddhistic term. Jate brahmani vartate. Brahman Satchidananda has become Ishvara, has now become this world. I am a jiva. Prag utpatte rajam sarvam. Before the creation of the universe, everything was perfect. And one day I will get moksha and I merge with Brahman. Everything will be perfect again. But now things are not perfect at all. Things are very bad. He says, Tena so kripana smita. They are pitiable. They are useless lot, he says. Why? Because at this point, that Satchidananda Brahma is you. Not part of it, not jiva. You are fully Satchidananda Brahma right now. And nothing at all has happened. That's what Gaudapada is trying to tell you. It's like you are watching a movie, tragedy. Now you are all perfect, but now you have been sucked into this tragedy. You have to wait, 3-hour-long movie will end, then only you will be freed from it. No, when the movie is going on, then also you are free from it. You are enjoying. So that is the attitude of Advaita Vedanta. Even while Brahman appears as Ishvara, Jagat, Jiva, it's still Brahman. And you are what? You are that Brahman. Yesterday I quoted Adhyatmikam tattvam drishtva tattvam adhyatmikam tattvam drishtva tattvam bahyatah tattvam drishtva bahyata tattvi bhuta tadarama Tattvad aprachyuto bhavet. Realize that I am Brahman. Realize that everything you see here is not everything. It's Brahman alone, perfect. Satchidananda, nothing else is there. Then you are Satchidananda. Tattvi bhuta, tadarama. Then you find peace. You find it, everything is alright. You are Satchidananda. Tattvad aprachyuto bhavet. You do not slip away from the tattvam at all. You are always effortlessly, choicelessly, you are Brahman. That's the final verse of 2nd chapter of Mandukya Karika. These are very, very extreme Advaitic positions. But that's the Advaitic answer. There are many other answers, little step by step. That is too much to swallow. Kashmiri Shaiva answer is there. This is the Leela of Shiva. I've told that story sometimes. Alan Watts, I like that story. He writes, he has a book, very nice book. The name of the book is The Book. And he says, the taboo against knowing who you are. And he says, in the beginning, God alone was there. So it's like a children's story, but it's for grown-ups. In the beginning, God alone was there. From eternity to eternity, God alone existed. But such a long time, eternity is very long, so God got bored. So God wanted to play. But to whom will he play? He has no friend. There's no second. Only non-dual reality. Only God is there. What to do? But God is very smart. So God thought about it, what to do. And then, because God is very intelligent, he decided to be not God. Now there are two. God, not God. Not God means God pretending to be not God. Now there are two. He can play. But the problem is, God is very smart, very efficient. What he does perfectly. So when he did it, pretending to be not God, he totally forgot he was God. Now what has happened is, this not God, God who is not God, and forgotten that he is God, is now searching for God. This is samsara. It's not Advaita, this is Kashmiri Shaivism. Shiva, Paramashiva, is none other than Jiva. You are that Paramashiva. What are you doing? See, they say some very beautiful things, Kashmiri Shaivas. They say that what Advaita is saying, you are under Agyana, Maya. Can Shiva be stopped by Agyana? You are Shiva. What Agyana can stop you? Can the sun be covered by darkness? Never. Then why are we like this? It is Shiva's Ichcha, it's your will. You want to be like this. The day you want to be enlightened, you will be enlightened. Who can stop you? But I want to be enlightened. Look, I am Sarvapriyananda, I have become sannyasi. Last 30 years I am struggling for enlightenment. He says, now Shiva wants to be sannyasi. That's why. When Shiva wants to become enlightened, he will become enlightened. So you cannot answer that. So that is the answer from Kashmiri Shaivism. Even further, one step further down, come to devotional Bhakti Siddhanta. There is no, Ishvara alone is the ultimate reality, and out of grace, Ishvara is doing all this. We think it's terrible suffering, but no. This is the shortest way to freedom. Ishvara has designed this for us. Going through these experiences, if you think you are suffering too much, way out is open. The door to enlightenment is open. Krishna says to Arjuna that the door to heaven, unasked for, the door to heaven is open before you. Walk through it. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell his disciples, I have cooked everything, just sit down and eat. Simple teachings, clear teachings are there. Start working on it, practicing it. You will be free in this lifetime itself. Why don't you do it? Okay, next.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Namaskar.
My name is Vishwanath. Yesterday we talked about awareness basically, and the awareness in me is the same as the awareness in you and others basically, and it's hard to debate that because how can you debate the existence of awareness? My question is, it's easy to understand the awareness using the mental faculties that have been given to me in this body, but before I was born, or when I'm not going to be here anymore, where is that awareness? How will I perceive that awareness?
With the body, see, the question of understanding what I am, this awareness, it comes only when the mind is active. When the mind is not active, for example in deep sleep, you forget before we are born, after the death of the body, just every night in deep sleep, that capacity of doing Vedanta, Vichara and understanding, oh, I am awareness, that capacity is not there because the mind is shut down. So the question of understanding who am I, what am I, comes only when the mind is active. And the question will be, oh, then awareness depends on the mind. Awareness for its own self-realization depends on the mind. That is a problem for a system like Sankhya, where awareness, consciousness is separate, mind, body, universe separate, Prakriti. So consciousness depends on Prakriti, Prakriti depends on consciousness, the mutual dependence is there. That in Sankhya is true. But in Vedanta, mind and indeed prana, body, world are nothing different from awareness. It is you, the awareness, which appears as your own mind. And through the mind you appear as body and senses. And through the mind, body and senses you appear as this world. That awareness alone is the adhisthana, is the ground of this reality. That's why tattvam drishtva adhyatmikam, tattvam drishtva tu bahyataha. The reality within and the reality outside, they are one and the same reality in Advaita Vedanta. You, the awareness, is the ground of the mind also. There is a beautiful verse in Vedanta, Chittam chiditi janiyat, takaro vishayadhyasa. Mind is nothing but awareness itself. See, in Vedanta we spend so much time in saying, Mano buddhyahankara chittani naham, I am not body, not mind, not intellect. But the opposite is also true. The mind is nothing but I, the awareness. This difference is like this. One sadhu put it very nicely. We do drigdrishya viveka. I have said it many times. I use it often. So if you see something, it is a drishya and it's different from you. You are not it. You are different from it. This table is drishya, so I am not the table. Body is drishya, so I am not the body. Mind is also drishya, so I am not the mind. So drigdrishya viveka, separation. But opposite, one sadhu put it nicely. He said, दृष्टा तो दृश्य से अलग है, सो तो ठीक है महात्मा जी, लेकिन दृश्य क्या दृष्टा से अलग है? You are separate from the drishya, correct. But have you ever thought of the opposite? Is the drishya separate from you? If you think drishya is separate, I am separate, that is Sankhya. Two separate realities, Prakriti and Purusha. But what does it mean? If I am separate from something, that thing also should be separate from me. If bottle is separate from the cap, then cap also should be separate from the bottle. There should be two different entities, even if they are together, right? No, sometimes, for example, the wood and the lectern. The lectern is not the wood, because the wood can exist without the lectern. The wood is not the lectern. The wood can exist before it was lectern, it was a log of wood. And one day it will be wood in some form. So it is not the lectern. But the lectern is nothing other than the wood. Because without the wood, lectern wouldn't exist. The wave is nothing apart from water. Water can be something apart from the wave. Water can be in the bottle. Water can be water vapor in the clouds up there. It doesn't have to be a wave. But the wave can never be anything other than water. According to Advaita Vedanta, drishya, whatever you experience, mind, for example, you are not the mind, correct. You are witness consciousness. But the mind is nothing apart from you. Now what is that? What is mind? Chittam chiditi janiyat. Chittam chiditi janiyat means the mind know it to be nothing other than you, the pure consciousness. Takaro vishayadhyasa. In Sanskrit, chit plus ta is chitta. The spelling Sanskrit, if you write it down, chit means pure consciousness. Add one more ta. Ta ta da dhana ta. Then it will become chitta. Two tas. What is that extra ta which converts consciousness into mind? Vishayadhyasa, appearance of object. By the inscrutable power of Maya, objects appear in consciousness. As objects appear in consciousness, consciousness becomes mind which knows the object. It becomes subject and there is an object. Object and subject actually appear together. Underneath, one consciousness, which you are. This is a very profound thing, and it's actually the answer to the most deadly attack on the Hindu idea of Atma, which is the Tibetan Buddhist, the Madhyamaka Buddhist approach, Nagarjuna's approach. Two things, if they depend on each other, both must be false. So if subject and object depend on each other, then both must be false. You can't say there is an object is false and subject is Atma. You can't say that. Both are appearing and disappearing. Yes, both are appearing and disappearing, but they have an adhisthana, which is awareness. And the Tibetans agree actually. They say this, they call it the basic space of awareness, what we call Atma. Okay, thank you.
Hello Swamiji, my name is Shumitra.
Namaste.
And I watch your YouTube lecture every now and then, and I just wanted to, I have this desire to teach myself how to meditate, but I often ran into this problem of concentrating. I have very flickery mind, as you said, so I'd like to find out how I can learn to control my mind.
Right. A basic method, simplest, straightforward method, which one can learn by oneself, is the Buddhist mindfulness approach. It's a very, very bare minimum approach, following the breath. If you see mindfulness meditation, if you look it up, I have given a class on Buddhist mindfulness, but Buddhist mindfulness is very popular in the United States. You find so many teachers. That's the bare minimum approach to focusing the mind. So that is one approach. There is also mantra meditation. Ishta Devata, but for that you require initiation from a guru who will give you Ishta Devata, mantra, how to meditate. Start with the mindfulness, just following the breath. You will see mind will calm down to some extent. Thank you. Sorry I've made you wait all this time.
Pranam Swamiji from Brahmanaspati. The consciousness which is omniscient, omnipresent and omnipotent is able to create this universe. One, after the self-realization, will he or she can become the same, omnipotent or omniscient?
No. The consciousness in itself is not omnipotent, omniscient and omnipresent. Consciousness plus Maya is called Ishvara. That is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. After realizing I am Brahman, do I become Ishvara? Do I become God? No, no, no. I am Jiva and there is one Ishvara. There are many Jivas. But both Jivas and Ishvara are at their base one consciousness, one Satchidananda. When I realize my reality, I will realize I am Brahman, I am Nirguna Brahman. It's like ocean and wave. Ocean and wave are both water. When the wave realizes I am water and on me depends the wave and depends the ocean also. See, even ocean depends on water. What is more powerful than the wave? Ocean. What is more powerful than the ocean? Water. Because on water there is wave, there is ocean. Without water, neither wave nor ocean will exist. So when the wave realizes I am water, will the wave become an ocean? No, no, no. It is water alone which is appearing as the wave and as the ocean. But as long as the wave has a wave form and the ocean has an ocean form, the wave will be a tiny, tiny part of the ocean. That's why Shankaracharya sings, the wave belongs to the ocean. Ocean never belongs to the wave. So my Lord, you are my Lord, I am your servant. Even as Shankaracharya. But we are both Satchidananda Brahma. That is the realization.
Doesn't that indicate Dvaita, Swamiji?
No, it doesn't. Because if I are both Satchidananda, then Satchidananda is the non-dual reality. Other than Satchidananda, there is nothing. Dvaita would say the ultimate reality is Bhagavan and I. That's it. Beyond that, one Satchidananda is there. No, no, no. They don't agree. Dvaita Vedanta will say, ultimately this difference between Jiva and Ishvara is fixed. Alright. Let's at least hear the questions quickly and then we will take it up maybe tomorrow. But tell us the questions. Come. You have stood for such a long time. It's like tapasya itself. Come closer. Come closer and I can just tell us the questions.
Okay. Namaste Swamiji. My question
Tell us your name.
Shachi. My name is Shachi and my
Shachi.
question is about moksha. So yesterday you told us our true nature is pure consciousness our true nature is pure consciousness or Brahman and when this pure closer? Okay. Oh, not closer. Okay. When this pure consciousness reflects upon each ego, it illumines the ego, the mind, senses, and the body and gives us sentience, right? And this reflected consciousness plus the mind-body complex is us, the jiva, right? That's right. What you have told us in many lectures. So in one of your lectures about like pramata, karta, bhokta, you say, and then I'm going to quote you, that witness consciousness, forgetting or not knowing its true nature, identifies only with the ego and through that with the body and mind, thus thinks itself as the doer and then is trapped, unquote, right?
Yes.
And now my question is, I don't know what you mean and what you are referring to when you say that witness consciousness, which is trapped. That witness consciousness. Because if it is pure consciousness, how can it be subject to ignorance? When it is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahman, it is all pervading and thus indivisible. So how can it be this or that?
Yeah.
And then the main question is, so what are we saying when we say we want moksha? What is it that is bound and what is it that needs to be liberated?
Right. This is, when you understand Advaita Vedanta, this question should come at some point or the other. And because this situation is paradoxical. Brahman cannot have any problems. Brahman does not need liberation. And body-mind cannot be liberated. Body-mind is an appearance, is part of Prakriti. Then who is it that is getting liberated? It is this peculiar combination of conscious, of Satchidananda and the appearance. There's Chit Jada, which needs to be liberated. Is it really a combination? Is Brahman really trapped? As I said, is it really trapped? No, not even really trapped. Then who needs real liberation? But there is no real liberation also. Gaudapada, na nirodho na cha utpatti, na baddho na cha sadhaka, na mumukshur na vai muktaha, ityesha paramarthata. If you get exasperated by all this logic, tell me the truth, straightforward. Gaudapada Acharya says in the 2nd chapter of Mandukya Karika that there is no cessation of this universe because there is no beginning of this universe. This never began, so there is no question of it ceasing also. What about us? We are in bondage. Nobody is in bondage. What about the people who are struggling to get out of bondage? No sadhak. Nobody is a sadhak. Then what about the people who are seeking liberation? Mumukshu. Nobody is seeking liberation. There is nobody seeking liberation. What about you, liberated person, Jivan Mukta? There is nobody who is liberated. What are you talking about? Ityesha paramarthata. This is the ultimate truth. See, it makes total sense when you see it from the perspective of Satchidananda Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This must be it. After all, what else is it? But in our condition, it's no good saying that. Because we are, ultimately the test is, are you suffering? Are you in trouble? Have you solved your problem through Advaita, Dvaita or whatever? So no. In that case, please try to get liberation. Try to hold on to this, try to get liberation. Shankaracharya is very funny. Exactly the same question is asked to Shankaracharya in one of the commentaries, Gita Bhashya. Who is in ignorance? He is asking. Brahman cannot be in ignorance. Who is in ignorance then? I am Brahman, so who is in ignorance? Shankaracharya says, why are you asking? So because I don't know, that's why I'm asking. You don't know means you are in ignorance, you just admitted it. No, there is a paradox at the heart of it. And it must be a paradox because this bondage is not real. If it was real bondage, a real answer could have been given. Since it's not a real bondage, it's a paradoxical situation, we need to snap out of it. Who is running in the jungle and being chased by a lion in a dream? Answer is nobody, just wake up. That is the answer.
So all this talk about moksha and liberation is not really true.
If you think, it's true. If you think that I am in trouble, I am this person, Shachi, and I have got, I want freedom and bliss and happiness, then it's all true. It will help you to get it. But philosophically speaking, from the ultimate perspective, it's not true. And it should not be true. See, if liberation were true, then bondage will also have to be true. If bondage were true, then we are really not Brahman right now. We are the Jiva, we are trapped in samsara. If that is true, then Gyana cannot help us. When will Gyana help? Only when there is something false, some ignorance has to be corrected, then knowledge will help. If it is not ignorance, if it's a real problem, then some real solution is necessary for it. That is the Dvaita philosophy. But Advaita philosophy is, it's not a real problem. It is ignorance, and ignorance is removed by knowledge. If you probe ignorance very much, like question if you make like this, you will end up with paradoxes. Like this paradox. It's good. And he says it is not dushanam. Pandits say in Advaita, it's not dushanam, it is bhushanam. It's not a defect of Advaita. It is a glory of Advaita that if you investigate far enough, you run up against a paradox. Yes. Just hear the questions.
Pranam Swamiji. My name is Arun. I regularly follow your talk online, and it is a real pleasure to see you face to face and talk to you as well. My question is regarding the Vedanta. Actually, it is introduced with the Mahavakyas, like straight away it's Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi and all. Is that the starting point for a sadhaka? And also there's a goal also, that's what it is, we need to realize it. But knowing it in the beginning itself, what drives a sadhaka to take the path of sadhana? And also how far does it take, like every moment the sadhaka will be reminded that everything what you see is not what you see, everything is illusion. And but actually the result of realizing or reaching the goal is dissolving myself or disappearing myself into this world.
All right, hold on to this question. Are you coming tomorrow?
Yes, I will.
So we'll take up your question first tomorrow. This is an important question.
Hari Om.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hari.
Yes, let's hear the questions quickly. नमस्ते.
प्रणाम स्वामी जी. मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ?
जी पूछिए.
एवरीबॉडीज तो मोक्ष जो है, मैं अब जो भी सोच रहा था और जो भी आपसे सुना हो और सोच रहा था कि ये द्वैत अद्वैत यह जानना जरूरी है कि मोक्ष पाने के लिए, तो मैं तो यही समझता हूँ कि मोक्ष की भी इच्छा त्याग देनी या उसके भी आगे जाना ही मोक्ष है, उसके भी बंधन को तोड़ना. और आपने जो कर्म की जो बात की है, जो कर्म में जो है निष्काम कर्म है, अकर्म विकर्म, ये क्या होते हैं? इसमें से आपने
We'll take it up tomorrow. Yes.
I will not be there tomorrow probably, but anyway.
Okay. At least the question has been placed. Yes.
Pranam Swamiji. Aham Brahmasmi, Tvam Brahmasvaha, Vayam Brahmasmaha. But coming down below that, I am Gopal. So that is.
I get emails like this. Long description. The same existence, consciousness, bliss, which we are both same consciousness, bliss together. In this body is Mr. Mishra. I'm asking the question.
Precisely, sir.
Yes.
You're also Swami Vivekananda ji. You're also Ramakrishna ji. To me, the question is: once we get down from that level, but we have to live in this world. We are living. There is a self-identity. So this awareness is what I'm tuning to. Karma Yoga is the rock foundation probably, but to discharge our duties, we do it with an ego and with an identification of everybody. The awareness just dissolves. So the question really is, how do you get into awareness as you wake up in the morning? How do you sustain the awareness throughout the day? How do you sleep and come back into the awareness so that this ego identity is dissolved?
Yes. The awareness identity never goes away actually. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Are you coming tomorrow? Please try. The last question, I think. Or you have given up. He has given up. Doubt is dissolved. All right then. Thank you so much. You made an announcement? Yes.
On your way out, we have a prasadam of a fruit. I don't know which fruit. Okay. And also, just a gentle reminder that the donation boxes are in 2 places. I don't like saying this too many times, but just telling you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you very much. And I am thankful to Swamiji for giving the beautiful discourse on the Karma Yoga and conducting this question and answer session. And I request to all of you, please come tomorrow. The program will start at 3 to 5 p.m. tomorrow. And also there is a prasadam being distributed. Please take the bag